All right, welcome to another edition of RSG One Mic. Before we get into it, please check us out at realsportsguys.com and Real Sports Guys on all social media platforms. It's good to be here. Let me bring in my co-host. What's up? What's up, Hammer? How you doing?
Doing well, brother. Doing well, man.
Doing well. It's good to have you here. Good to have you here tonight. What's up, Darnell?
Oh, nothing much. Well, today is as you all know, it's National Signing Day. My guy Jabril signed today with Grand Valley State, so I just want to give a shout out to him for getting into it.
All right, these young folks excited about the next chapters of their lives and lots going on and stuff like that. And so we're going to jump right into the proceedings. And so hopefully I got all my stuff set up here in the deck. Brady retires out the gate, going back and forth. I think it was just time. He went through a lot. Hammer seems to think he's going to 49ers. He's not going to West Coast.
He on the way he's gonna
He's
do,
staying
man.
close. Families in Miami. He's staying close to
The way
that.
he's gonna do.
He's not going to retire and unretire again, man. Just ain't
Man,
happening.
you know the way you're gonna do. It could be like Conor
He-
McGregor, Floyd Mayweather,
we
man.
all
I
got to
don't
turn
believe it.
the page.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
On
Why do you have a big press conference? Why do you have a big press conference
because he
in
had that.
South Beach?
He did all that
And
stuff.
that's what he needs to do. If we really want to believe it, and instead of hiding behind the Twitter and hiding behind Instagram, hiding behind social media, have it with the people, like with real sports guys, and have it with the people. But I don't believe it.
A lot of
I
having
see
more
it when I
sports
believe
guys.
it.
He'll be
I
on
see
with
it
Jim
when I
Gray
believe it.
talking about it. He'll be on with Jim Gray talking about it, man. He
He was on a bunch of people talking about his retirement last year, and then he turned around.
yeah, but you could.
I see it when I see it when I believe it.
He
I see
was
it.
he was hoping he was doing it for the right reasons, and he wasn't ready, and he figured out. But after that beat down he took this year, they beat him to retirement.
Yeah, beat down because his Ali Marpet retired. Jensen got hurt. The line was a mess, except for
Sometimes
Tristan
it's
Wirfs. So
say
yeah, so he didn't
time
get
to
his
go.
butt beat because raggedy line. But he goes to the Niners with McClinchy and Trent Williams, and come on, man, that's tailor made for him.
That's wishful thinking. That's
Tailor
those are
made.
not the problems. All right, Darnell. What you heard the news? Are you over here on Hammer's side? You think he's just doing this? He'll be back in 3 months.
I mean, I'll just wait and see what happens. But yeah, he retired, so I'll take him at his word. He's retired for now.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be a Pat McAfee leading you along. He's like, I'm transitioning and I'm gonna go do some of this other stuff. All right, there's a lot of talk about the greatest of all time. It was some interesting conversations. I was catching it in between transitions and stuff like that. And I mean, there's definitely a case for him, but I think people sometimes forget about people like Montana and some of these other cats who are ballers in different eras and stuff like so. I'm Brady went to Michigan, and I'm going. I can support it and everything else, but I think Keyshawn broke it down right. Them first 3 ones were all about the defense. He was there doing his thing, so I think he's in the conversation. But I don't get caught up in the greatest of all time about him being the greatest quarterback of all time. I think there's quarterback plays a lot of different things. I think he's definitely sitting at the big table with maybe has a big piece of chicken in his hand. We always talk about that. There's the Hall of Fame and then that special room. He in that room, and he might have a hand on the main piece of chicken. But I think people forget how good some of these other quarterbacks were, and were in some different things. So I don't get too much into that, but I know he's definitely in the conversation, and he's definitely got that longevity thing going at a high level. So I give that. I mean, he's got all the honors across 3 decades, but I don't know
So
how y'all
what? So
about
what?
that.
He's not the GOAT. He's
Huh?
at the head of the table. He's eating whatever piece of chicken he wants. If not the whole chicken, he's definitely the GOAT. There's no question. I don't even like the dude. I'll say he's a GOAT because
Yeah.
look at the receivers he was throwing to. He's throwing to raggedy receivers when he went top. Wes Welker, Edelman. They ain't no top receivers. Gronk was a great but Gronk was hurt all the time.
Well, he was also doing it in a division. He's also doing a division where they were starting with 5 wins. They were starting with 5 wins. Like people don't take into people used to talk about Belichick really trying to would really started to hone things in around October, November. You know why he could do that? Because everybody else in that division for the most part during that time was junk. Run by junk front offices. So when you're basically given 5 games. I'm just saying 5
You
games up
still
front.
got to win. You got to still win the 3 games.
I know, but I'm saying that some of
in
these
the
other
big game.
quarterbacks were constantly doing it in divisions where they were battling all the time.
Tell me who's better than Brady then? Let's just break. Who's better? I mean, I thought Joe Montana for a while. He still was.
I would put Montana. I would put Montana
Joe
was
had
game. I
Jerry
would put
Rice,
Montana.
John Taylor,
Even beyond
Dwight
that,
Clark.
I would put Montana in that. And even you talk about Montana went to KC was still balling. I put Montana in that.
He didn't win though. He didn't win. Tom Brady won when he left. When he left this, but he won.
He was balling. Hold it. Montana was balling.
Year one.
Montana was balling in the era where you could hold his receivers. You could tackle him, and he still was balling.
They couldn't hold.
I'm just giving you Montana, and without championships, I give you Marino.
Yeah, Marino's a great quarterback.
Who are you afraid of? You afraid of Marino? You afraid of Marino?
Marino was afraid of him. On the wrong team.
Marino scares you. He couldn't help it. He had nobody.
Yeah, Tom Brady scares you.
Marino scares you.
Tom Brady scares you.
Marino got you up all night. When you think about
Brady,
Brady, I love
yards.
Brady.
That's why you were talking 30 yards.
You were as worried about Belichick as you were about Brady in the defense and how he was going to scheme against you.
I mean, Belichick's been exposed these last 3 years, brother.
Nah, but don't take it. Don't get caught up with that. Don't cut up it.
That's why he brings his boy back. O'Brien, he been exposed.
Let's equal the playing field. Hammer, let's equal it a little bit. Darnell, I know you were trying to make your case for Brady. Go ahead, man.
Man, this is a silly conversation. Like,
it's not a silly conversation.
Tom Brady has
I know you grew
more
up in
championships than any other franchise in the NFL.
Understand that.
He has more Super Bowls than any other team in the NFL. Like Max Kellerman always says, there's a difference between the greatest player and the best player. And if we talk about who's the best football player, it's a conversation because you can't. It's hard to compare different positions. But if we're talking about the greatest, there is no conversation to be had.
But there is a conversation.
Thomas Brady.
You telling me he was carrying in the first 3?
That
was Teddy Bruschi. That was Teddy Bruschi. That was those cats.
The quarterback touches the ball.
Yeah, but you know that was Ty Law. That was Ty Law. Come on, don't get caught up, man.
Who did the tuck rule?
Ty Law didn't have nothing to do with that.
He did, but Brady was the quarterback.
Brady played, but Brady was like Brady was one of the pips in that one. He wasn't.
Like I said, there's a difference between greatest and best. When you talk about greatest, you're talking about accomplishments. You're talking about who's the most decorated. That's Tom Brady. If you're talking about who's the best, Jim Brown is in there.
Yeah, Jim Brown's the best. Preach it. Jim Brown was the best football player ever lived. No question.
Oh no, but
the greatest is Tom Brady.
I'm not gonna knock on Walter Payton. I'm not gonna walk on.
Nah,
come on,
Jim was better than Walter.
Sometimes we get caught up. Walter Payton didn't have no line. Come on, man, you're from Chicago. Why am I arguing you? Why am I arguing for you up in Chicago? Walter was doing it with no line.
He balled, but he's not better than Jim Brown.
Elbowing people. Come on.
Jim Brown didn't need no line. Jim Brown used to shred everybody.
I understand that. You from Chicago. Why am I doing this? Chicago people.
Walter's my favorite player of all time. Yeah,
I know sometimes I feel like I'm biased.
I would have no credibility.
I'm over here trying to help your boy out. And he over here arguing. Come on, man.
You're arguing. The late great Walter Payton was my favorite player.
It's so hard to talk about greatest in football.
He the best. I would take Jim Brown over him all day,
man. I don't get up into the greatest thing when you coach football over there, my young man. You know how hard it is to put all those people. It's not just the quarterback.
What did I just tell you? What did I just tell you? There's a difference between greatest and best. The greatest, we talking about accomplishments. We talking about who is the most decorated player, and that's Tom Brady. You can't argue that.
But if I take the first 3 away, Montana got how many Super Bowls?
You got 5, right?
Yeah. And he was responsible for all 5. All 5. Yeah, all 5.
So was Brady. With all.
I mean Brady was good. Brady was good on 4, 3 we can debate.
You gonna say that
Montana
Super Bowl was
responsible for
Deion
all
Branch
5.
got the MVP?
How many did Montana win without Jerry Rice?
How many would Jerry Rice?
I think two,
How
or
many
one or
would
two.
Brady win without
Jerry
Teddy
came
Bruschi
after
and
a Super
Ty
Bowl.
Law?
Again, you
How
talking
many
about
would
Ty
Brady win
Law,
without Ted
man. Ty
Bruschi
Law
and
was
Ty
a
Law and
great
all them?
quarterback,
They was
but
locking down.
Ty Law
How many would he have
been
won
retired.
without the clutching
None of them
and not being a
win.
fumble with
He
Woodson?
wouldn't have.
What about the Woodson?
Montana wouldn't have won without the line. So
How many would he have won without the kicker?
Well, again, Ben
Come
Terry was
on.
tremendous, but he got the kicker in the position
Without the
to pick,
kicker,
right? Yeah,
the
position
kicker
to
might
pick,
go to the
right?
Hall of Fame.
Okay, man.
Come on. How many Super
That's
Bowls
what
won
happens
with
when
a
you
kicker at the
win.
last?
When you win, everybody make the Hall of Fame.
Vinatieri. How many
Raymond Green about to
Vinatieri?
make the Hall
Terry
of
should be in the
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Andre
Yeah.
Iguodala about to
Come
make the Hall
on,
of Fame.
Come
But you know
on.
why they make
Andre
the Hall of
Iguodala be
Fame?
in the
Because
Hall
The
of
Vince
first
Fame.
three
Curry
was
did
like
the same thing.
Vinatieri line up and hit it.
He made the Hall of
Vinatieri
Fame.
line up and hit it. Come on, y'all.
He
I'm
made
not
the
taking
Hall
anything
of
away
Fame.
from it, but it's closer than you think.
No, it's not that. Look at Brett Maher. It's not that easy, man.
Come
Look at
on,
Brett
man.
Maher.
All right.
Man, he can
I'm
mess
not gonna
up.
say, and I can't believe I'm doing it. This is a former Wolverine. You know, I should be showing love, but I just can't be. I'm not one to just co-sign for just co-signing reasons.
It's not cosign. Look at the accomplishment. Look at even this year,
It's
even with
to
the
my benefit.
subpar year, the guy's 30 yards at 46, 45, 46
It's
years
to my
old,
benefit
man.
to say the greatest player ever is a Wolverine. It's to my benefit. So I'm not going to take away from it, but I want to be.
He's a Patriot, as far I'm concerned. He ain't a Wolverine.
He's a Wolverine. And he
Man,
was good in
his
college.
career in Michigan was okay.
And they was acting a fool with him in college. They should have been starting him.
Yeah.
All that competition stuff they try to pull when he was a senior. Nah, that kind of crazy. But
Drew
okay.
Henson, right? Whatever.
Well, but on this day, we're gonna give him flowers. I would put. I hate. See,
I
Hammer, I'm
ain't give him
pulling the
nothing
hammer.
because he'll be back. He'll be back. Then y'all be eating crow. He'll be back.
He's not gonna
He'll be look good in that Niner helmet, man.
He's not gonna be back.
All
right,
I do not
Hammer.
see him going with
Dinner
Trey
on
Lance.
it. Dinner on it.
Yeah, bet.
Dinner on it.
Bet.
He coming back.
Bet.
Only thing he coming back. Only thing he gonna walk in. You gonna see him walking in on his way to the booth. You gonna see him walking in on the way to the booth.
No,
he ain't coming back, man.
Yeah.
He come back. All that stuff he went through. When you get your butt kicked and all that stuff he been through with his relationship stuff, that he got drugged to the.
He had a relationship problem because he wanted to play football.
No, but there was a lot of other stuff. That's like I told you. That's like
play football. He would still be
it's a reversal. That was a reversal.
Giselle wouldn't be the trainer now.
All that stuff. It's like Internet Central. When all
Bridget
when he
too.
took away all that practice and they were just sitting there looking at each other, it was all that stuff that they've been dealing with.
He left Bridget Moynihan when she was pregnant, and then she turned around and married dude. So he never had
I'll tell you right now,
football.
he ain't trying to leave
anything but football. That's
why
I think he'll definitely be back.
He got some work to do. He know that. That's what you got to look at size. That's why, because with the greatness, you look at the number of great players who have struggled with their family life because that's what it took for them to be great. You know, and so at a certain point, though, some of them realize
the greatest had a terrible family life, and you know I'm talking about I'm talking about the greatest of all sports, and that's just how it was.
Yeah, but you see,
that
they spent a lot of time
to
rebuild that. They spent a lot of time trying to rebuild that, bring it back. You know,
he's happily married now, but it took him,
you reach a time in your life where you realize you got to do something about that, right? So he's trying to figure that out, man. All right.
When MJ was running the streets, he was the best player there was, man.
All right.
This ain't no damn holding now. Shoot, he balled.
All right. We NBA is branding some new rivalry. I'm trying to get my head around this rivalry week thing. You know, it's like they trying to pull it off, but obviously, you know, they had their rivalry week here, number of games. What was your thoughts of this whole rivalry week in terms of the games and stuff like that? I'll start with you, Darnell.
I think it was a hit.
You think it was a hit?
It's weird, like you said. Some of it's weird because you don't know which games are supposed to be rivalry games.
Yes.
A couple ones that stuck out for sure is Kyrie versus Steph. They both was up to the challenge. Curry was getting to it in the first half, and Kyrie closed the show. Kyrie always takes that matchup with Stephen Curry. And he always goes at Stephen Curry. But then, on Saturday, you had Embiid versus the Joker. Jokic is the reigning two-time MVP of the league, and Embiid is the 2-time runner-up in front of MVP, and MB looked across the corner like Clever Lane. He said, "My prediction is pain." He came out there 47 and 18 with a couple blocks, 3 steals, 5 assists. He was giving it to him and talking to him too. Man, it was something to watch. But yeah, I think Rivalry was a hit.
Mm.
You had the Lakers and the Celtics. You had the controversial foul on LeBron.
Controversial foul.
It was a foul.
Are you employing the NBA or not?
Controversial no call. Sorry.
And you know the foul. My partner was up for getting on, be like, LeBron's complaining. She kept doing this. It was just, no, that's a legit foul. And then on the other side, I said, this is why Detroit fans don't like the Garden. Because you get them, as my brother would say, them St. Patty's Day calls. Steve would say some stuff like that. Yeah, that was a foul, man. You got to call that.
That was awful.
It's the LeBron haters who don't think it's a foul, but it's a foul.
I don't like LeBron. I knew it was a foul.
They called a foul on the other end for Brown. That wasn't no foul. Oh, adopt him on top of it.
They wanted to go OT, man. They wanted to go OT, bro. That's why they wanted to go OT, man. It's pitiful.
Come on, man. That's some Boston guard. So that's why in the old guard, Lambert spit on the floor, on the leprechaun, because of that stuff right there. That right there brought it back.
That's disgraceful, man.
My partner was like, "Why are you so upset?" Like, because anybody from
Detroit, that's a Matt Barnes mess, spitting on people.
Am I right? Am I right, Darnell? Anybody from Michigan understands that stuff in the Garden. What's only helped us is that now they got a couple brothers over there. There's some brothers coaching, so now we kind of warming up. You had KG over there, but we
Garden and Lambeau Field.
Yeah, it's that Lambeau Field stuff. It's that crazy. You understand that from yourself, Hammer and Lambeau. Them calls, like, where'd that call come from? Come on, man. Come on, man. No.
Park Avenue. Shoot.
That was a foul. But you think Rivalry Week was a hit? NBA's get some stuff right. Folks are going at it. They had the because was part of that the Minnesota and Memphis, was they part of that whole?
I guess so. Because play in from last year.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, Nets, Knicks. Yeah.
Yeah, Nets, Knicks.
Sun Spurs.
Yeah, it was
T-Wolves and Kings. Yeah, so
you see that little move that
Magic, because it was the day when Horace was with the Magic. He was clowning. Remember when they beat us? They beat MJ. We came back.
You see that move that Jokic when he split that double team? Was that
last?
Oh my goodness, man! At that point, I was like, you know what, man? I'm on your team. I apologize.
Did you see when MB hit Jokic with the UTEP 2-step and then did a reverse dunk?
I mean, you got these bigs doing these crazy moves, man. It's like, come on, y'all. This is crazy.
That's why Kofi Coburn in the league, because he couldn't do stuff like that, man. These bigs are they move like point guards, man.
They controlling the floor. Like, can you imagine? Like, you could never imagine the way in which these bigs are controlling tempo and the floor. It's almost like they control it like they bigger versions of of Kid or something like that, where these guys were controlling and stuff like that. And they just got a sense. I mean, Jokic is like, man, he just, every time I look at him, like, it's like, he like the old dude in the gym that's doing folks, and you see all the young cats is frustrated because they ain't got no answer. And he ain't getting mad. He ain't talking no junk. He just holding court. And everybody on the sidelines talking, they don't know what to say because they ain't nothing to say. And you want to get mad, but he ain't saying nothing back to you. He just doing you. And it's like, you can see that. And when he did that move last night, folks are just shaking their head. Like, what do we do now? He doing this now? Now, what else we going to do? It's like, man. And then, like, Embiid, like, they are coming at people. And then what did Giannis have? What did he have? What, a 50 ball?
50. Yeah, 50. Yeah. He went bananas, man. 50 in like 32 minutes. Yeah.
I'm like, this stuff is ridiculous. I'm like, I just can't imagine it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I met the dude in person, man. The dude's like the most ripped person I've seen, man. 7 foot. He's like built like a small forward. Like I say, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Now you listen to RSG one mic, We done hit a little bit on some Brady, a little bit on some NBA stuff. We're gonna get into the heart of the conversation for this podcast. A lot of NFL talk. We got Coach Payton going to Denver, and I just want to start. I'm gonna hit you, Darnell. I mean, he had all the options in the world. Do you see this as a good fit? And if so, why? Why would Denver be the move? He could have waited for a lot of different options, but he went with Denver. What do you think he saw in that?
Well, somebody like Sean Payton, you gotta realize they think that, there's no such thing as a situation that I can't fix. And with Denver, they do have a very good young defense. Patrick Surtain, and the boys over there on defense. And then on offense, you still have some weapons with Jerry Jeudy. They had some injuries in the receiving core, but some of those guys will be back. Russell Wilson is there. He is an older Russell Wilson that he hasn't looked the same. But some people are saying maybe it was like a shoulder injury or something. So hey, if anybody can bring him back, Sean Payton's probably the guy. Sean Payton got Drew Brees after his shoulder injury, and so maybe he could work his magic with Russell Wilson, and I think that's what he's seeing. But I know they don't necessarily have a whole lot of draft capital because of the moves they made, to get Russell Wilson, and they had to get trade some assets to get Sean Payton as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But yeah, Sean Payton, he's a confident guy, so I know he believes he can do it.
Yeah, I think one of the things I think is, and you just pointed some out. I mean, he's already built an offense around someone of that stature, but Russell's even more powerful than Breeze in terms of his physical stature, right? But he knows how to create those windows for those sort of quarterbacks, and Russell can throw that dime deep, and he's got some receiving core, he's got some offensive pieces, and again, like you're right, he's built an offense for someone of that stature, right? Not a big quarterback, but Russell's got some power. Russell's got the ability to run a little bit. In some ways, Russell gives him a little bit of the blend of the Hill and Breeze, right? Mixing it in. Someone who can move a little bit, probably more than Breeze, but he can also throw from the pocket and do some interesting things. But yeah, I think I know Hammer was thinking he should have waited.
Yeah, to 2024 when Brandon Staley's contract is up, then he can go to Spanos family and be GM and be head coach. I mean, it's a dumb decision. I'm stunned. I'm stunned by a decision. First of all, if you don't go to a new franchise, you're going to put yourself in a detriment by giving up your first round pick to get you. I mean, that makes no sense from the get-go. Let's just be real. He went for the bag, as he said in the hood. That's what he went for. He went for the bag. He went for the Walmart bag, $100 million. I don't blame him. And he already knows he has a second career now. He killed it in the booth. Killed it. And Jimmy's sitting around. Jimmy ain't going to be traveling much longer to LA. He'll be in the Keys chilling. So it's a win for him, regardless of what happens. He got $100 million guaranteed. I wouldn't pass that up. And nobody else is going to pay him $25 million a year but the Walmart family. And you tell me Drew Brees was much younger than Russell when he took over Russell. Remember that. Russell's 33 years old, man.
Russell
and beat up.
Much better
and beat up. And beat up.
Still got more in the tank.
And lost confidence.
Yeah.
So again, the defense is good. If they bring Vic back, that's going to be really interesting to bring Fangio back to the Broncos. But, hey, he's a great DC. He's not a good coach. But, again, Payton might be able to win him. He's a really brilliant mind. But I still think I would have waited for 2 years. My contract was up with New Orleans, and I would have gone to LA. It would have been perfect. He would have been GM and head coach. He would control everything. These Walmarts, and I believe the intel that came out there. They talked about they wanted D'Amico. He wasn't first. They were running around with Harbaugh. He wasn't their first choice. Let's be real about it. But they had a PR debacle with this, and they paid up. That's the bottom line. They didn't want to pay. They paid up. Like I told you, some people in the chat, like they got Walmart money now, man. I mean, they could cut Russell if they wanted to, but they're not going to. They're Walmart money. You'll give $100 million to A guy was what 7-9 his last year. I mean, Brady's a good coach, but there's a reason why they wanted D'Amico. I believe that intel that Rappaport had over Schefter, because Schefter's cool with Denver. That's where he was based. Remember that. That's where he made his career. So he ain't gonna talk badly about the Broncos. That's his butter. That's his bread and butter. Like Brady ain't gonna talk about Michigan. That's his bread and butter. So yes, I don't believe it. I think Peyton got the bag, and it's gravy or it's icing on the cake if he wins. If he doesn't win, he can go back to Fox. He's only 59 years old. He can get in. He sees Jimmy there, 75, still doing his thing. He can do that Fox thing for 10 more years, regardless of what happens. He's still getting paid. So
we'll
God bless him. $100 million guarantee.
Watch. Yeah, everybody was like, on the Sean Payton sweepstakes, and he ends up in Denver. I mean, Denver's, he's in the Lions den. He got that boy Patty Mahomes over there. And you see what the Raiders might do. Plus, you saying San Diego is still legit, so he in the Lions den right out the gate.
That's L.A. That's another thing. You got still San Diego.
San Diego. I'm saying L.A. I'm sorry, I ain't getting fined.
They're always gonna be the San Diego.
They should probably go back to San Diego anyway.
I don't want San Diego because my best friend Ken told me, I never forget when they had that vote. He's like, we don't need a football team. We don't care about football. We got the beaches. We got high tech. We're San Diego. I was like, bet, because that's true.
They don't
care about those sports in San Diego, man.
For right now, but yeah, LA. There's a lot going on in LA. So, but
yeah, you playing Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and whoever the Raiders quarterback going to be every year. That's ridiculous. I mean, if you don't have Justin Herbert, I'd rather have Justin Herbert. They have Russell Wilson.
I think Russell's going to be fine, but I would take Denver's defense over all of them.
He need to be better than fine. He needs to be superstar for that money.
I think, the Chargers defense is, if they learn to play and people can stay healthy, they got football's version of street clothes over there playing.
They don't release Khalil though. That's going to be a mistake.
Yeah, they got Joey. They got Joey over there, right? Street clothes. They got street clothes over. Always in street clothes. So we'll see.
Up there, you see that video of him.
Oh yeah, he should have known better to go to Philly.
Idiot,
Philly gonna call you out on that.
Oh, he called him out. Talking about I'll make more. Like I can afford this. He's like, dude, I can afford it too. He's talking to a guy probably a guy worth $100 million, man. He thought he was talking to some chump. Dude, I got money too.
They ain't rolling like an idiot, man. Somebody should have sent him the memo. I've been up in Philly. Them Philly fans don't play. They go with the best of them.
He dumb. I mean, he's a great football player, but I remember his last game at Ohio State. That made no sense. You gonna get knocked out. You gonna go out like that? Remember his last game at Ohio State? No, you remember, don't you? You get that.
Notre Dame game.
Yeah, that was the dumbest penalty. I'm like, man, you don't want to play. You just want to clown.
Yeah. So he's out there. He's out there, man. All right, we had the conference championship games. We're not going to talk about the Super Bowl stuff. We'll say that for next week. But let's just talk about what you watched and what you learned. When you watch those games. I'll start with you, Hammer. Who did you pick to win?
I picked Philly and I picked Cincinnati. But I said I get caveat. I said it would be a close game, didn't I? I said it'd be close. I said KC might be able to win because of all
right, Michael Jackson, you up there moonwalking. Come on.
No, I ain't moonwalking. I'm telling you, look at the tape. Look at the tape. I said it'd be a close game, and I said it'd be closer than I thought it would be because you were talking that junk. No. I can't moonwalk, so don't even go there. I can't moonwalk. So the great Michael Jackson, he had moves. I can hardly dance.
Hey, look, it was a great game. The young man, the penalty, he was playing a hell of a game as a line. On football. I mean, that was just a bad. He's lost where he was on the field. He was playing a great game.
He lost his mind, man.
But that was. I mean, that was more than that. I'm telling you, that defense was on Burrow.
Oh, the defense was on Burrow. Yeah. Frank Clark had a great game. I told you, Frank Clark had a great game. I told you, Chris Jones had to have a great game.
Chris Jones was like, we ain't having that kind of party no more. He was on.
Who should be defensive player of the year? I think he should be defensive player of the year. Yeah, Chris Jones. Yeah.
And the 49ers it was just a meltdown. Quarterback was, but that was all Philly. Philly was beating them up. Philly came
Yeah,
out to
well,
like
Hassan Reddick, man, got to him that it was
right.
over. He literally knocked them out.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that was all
he
Philly
knocked them
knocking
out.
them out.
This tells you why. This tells you why the Cardinals are such a bad franchise. They had that brother playing inside linebacker. Now, whoever did that mess, that was Kingsbury. They're just idiots. You gonna have to do it inside linebacker, a guy that can rush and pass it like that. I know they think that because they think he's supposed to be a prototypical guy like Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, the big type. This brother can ball. I don't care how big he is. That brother can go. He was a first round pick for a reason from Temple for a reason. Dude can ball, man, and that's why the Cardinals are one of the worst franchises in professional sports. If they had that brother, if they had the Bidwells had him, I would have immediately intercede like he's playing outside. I would fire everybody. They fire everybody anyway, and they got the brother playing inside linebacker. Are you serious? Are you serious?
So Darnell, who'd you pick?
I picked the Eagles, and then I picked the no, I picked the Eagles. I picked the Bengals. I picked Cincinnati.
Y'all ran the same. So what did you observe? What you see with the Kansas City game? What did you learn in terms of that? Like, what did you see? Was it just the same old thing and just Kansas City pulled it off? What did you see?
I would say that Kansas City, their defense, they like you said, they showed up to play.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, their offensive line impressed me the week before, right?
Yeah.
And I really didn't expect them to play like that, so I thought they were going to ride that momentum, but obviously that didn't happen. The injuries got to them. I wouldn't say the injuries got to them. They definitely got some help from Kansas City. Got to give them their credit, but I think that was a big factor in the game. And if Cincinnati didn't get that fumble, this would have been a more comfortable victory for Kansas City. So I think Kansas City, they won and they deserved to win. So.
Yeah, I mean Patrick Mahomes was gritting it out, boy. He was getting limping around.
And Kelsey had back spasms for. Kelsey almost didn't play.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna need that break. They're gonna need that break, and we'll get more to that matchup. So the two teams that lost, right? So we think about the 49ers and we think about the Bengals. Where do you see them at? People are gonna get better in the offseason. We already seeing moves being made. Hammer seems to think the 49ers are gonna get Brady. I like. I mean, they got a good quarterback. I mean, if Purdy
they don't know if he's
shows up,
healthy or not, man.
you guys, that's a big thing. But
UCL is no joke. That's a serious injury.
You got Trey
elbow,
back. You got these kids, but they all on rookie contracts, right?
Oh yeah, no, they have. That's one thing. Broke it down. I'll put this thing because the people should hear this because it's deep. Well, one guy said, "What's the difference between would you rather have Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts?" He said Jalen Hurts because of his contract. Like Pat Mahomes' contract is I mean, it's great they're still in the Super Bowl, but his contract, he didn't take the discount like Tom Brady did. If he take the discount, you could have kept Tyreek Hill. You would have blown them out, but not the doors off him. Kessler brought some more defenders. Jalen Hurts on that contract, they got to win. And so the main thing about it is that getting back to, again, what you asked for, the two losers, in Cincinnati, like I said, they need to get some more offensive line. The offensive line was good. I think that also they have to make a big decision about Tyler Boyd. You're probably going to let him go because someone's going to overpay him. And then they need to stack up, but Osai got to go. I mean, I don't see how he comes back to city of Cincinnati. Now, if Mayor gonna clown on Burrow, he need to clown on that brother. I mean, his own teammate call him out. Pratt call him out after the game. That's deep. That usually stays in the locker room. But these young cats like Darnell, they cutting up regardless.
Call him out.
They don't respect the culture.
He made a bad play, but that kid made more plays to keep them in the game.
I agree, but he made the wrong play at the wrong time.
But that you got to get over that.
He made the wrong play at the wrong, and then get back.
That was an effort play. That wasn't a bonehead.
And get back to San Fran. Like I said, San Fran needs.
But that's the locker room
Tom Brady. That's what they need. They need Tom Brady, and they'll be good. Keep McCaffrey. They Tom Brady. They need him to come home and see. You won't even with that team, man. You got Debo. You got Man, I mean, woo! You got McCaffrey lathered up. You got Kittle. Can you imagine Brady with those weapons? Oh my! In that line, Big Trent. Remember, Trent was clowning. Trent was pushing the cats. Cats were backing up. You saw him backing up. They didn't want that smoke. That brother's massive, man. That brother and McClinchy and oh my god, that line is
So
amazing.
I'm going to say your thing is they need to look for a veteran quarterback. That's what you say.
Yeah, Tom Brady. That's what they
I'm saying they're going to look for a veteran quarterback.
Tom Brady.
You hold on to
because
Tom.
all those other cats,
It sounds like
they're backups. Trey played football and played a year of football in what since 2020.
They might as well stick with Jimmy.
Nah, G. There's a report that G's gone, man. They gonna let G go.
They might
gonna be gone.
I don't think they're any better.
He's always hurt, man.
Yeah, but
always hurt.
You got to look at that because Tom ain't coming west unless he's just gonna come and hang out and watch the Warriors play. All right, Darnell. I mean, for these two teams trying to make moves, what do you thinking they doing next?
Man, I think the 49ers are going to be okay. I mean, we got to remember they were on quarterback 3 and 4 in this game, but I didn't really talk about what happened in this game. I said last week that this game is going to be won at the line of scrimmage, and to me that's exactly what happened. And to look at this from a 49ers perspective, this is like it had to be a blow to the ego, blow to the ideology right there, because they're built right up there in the middle. Their defensive line, offensive line, and they got pushed all over the field. You watched Jason Kelsey do his thing, Jordan Mailata. That offensive line moved them wherever they wanted them to go, and it was something to watch, especially
like checkers. They move like checkers, bro. They move like checkers. Real talk. They move like checkers. They were just manhandled.
Yep.
They're embarrassed.
And everybody knows what the Bengals have to do. I don't think that has to be addressed. And just continue to build that offensive line. Yeah,
it's on their rookie deal.
Yeah, it's and around these teams, you got to see what's happening within their divisions, and what are other teams going to be doing in those divisions. Obviously we got what's going on in Baltimore, and whether or not they're going to get that deal. I haven't been tracking it too well, but
they're talking about Lamar going to ATL, man. That's what they're talking about right now.
Yeah, then.
You know what's gonna happen? They ain't paying the brother. They gonna franchise him. He gonna get upset. He gonna sit. Mama gonna tell him to sit. He gonna be down south. Either I don't think Miami, but we'll see. It might be still Miami.
Ravens are messing up, and everybody's closing in too. So
it's again, be interesting. Baltimore, they think that they know everything. So they won with Joe Flacco. So
and then you got Kellen just went over to the Rams. I'm telling you, boy, these cats can not do well somewhere and then end up coaching somewhere. You pick them up, you just, and my brother from Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. He can't find. Is he gonna find any work? Leftwich.
Leverage?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's like
the Bulls can him. So yeah, so that's, man.
So
you might have to go back to Marshall or something. I don't know.
That brother gonna play like he at least was a coordinator for a Super Bowl winning team, and then he can't even get. Look,
we
do well, but there's no
the Glazers threw him under the bus because Tom Brady won, but that's a joke, man. That line, that brother did the best. You can't run the ball with no line.
With no line, all those cats who retired,
and Fournette ain't Walter Payton,
and people underestimate Gronk's importance in the run game in terms of what Gronk's importance. But yeah, so
their running was the key reason why they won. When Fournette got lathered up in the second half of the season, that's one of the main reasons why they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
because they had balance on their team.
Yeah,
and they gonna call brother talk about he doesn't know how to scheme to run the ball. Give me a break, man. That's why brothers. That's why brothers, like I said, got angry right now and filing lawsuits. They need to because this is just some racism.
It's crazy.
I mean, he turned down the Jaguar job.
Yeah,
I'd
love to be in that article we kind of talked about. It's in the chat. I'd love to be able to dig deeper into that. When people start doing an analysis on when you start looking on a merit based kind of lens in
Yeah.
the way in which black coaches have performed
Black
versus
coaches have
white
done
coaches,
better.
and they've been performing better.
Yeah,
So
we had two
so it's,
black coaches against each other, Tony
yeah.
Dungy and Lovie Smith
So
in the Super Bowl.
on these levels, and because usually you have to be able to perform to hold on to those things. They'll let you be mediocre for a long time if you're a white
You gotta
coach.
be better than the best when you black at anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Anything. I don't care what it is in life. Anything. It's definitely
So
for coaches.
it's to see this stuff happen, but that movement. But anyway, Rams are going to see what the Rams are going to do in terms of rebounding over there. So the 49ers are going to watch
I don't
that.
know what they're gonna do, man. They got
Uh,
to trade Jalen.
Arizona something, but then you got Seattle. Are they going to be able what they're going to do there? So that divisional, what kind of divisional moves going to be at? Both these teams got to be aware the gaps are going to start closing here in the off season, and so they got to be ready. So every year is different, right? You can't just lean on some of this stuff. Some of
Yeah,
these
but
teams,
Cardinals gonna be hampered because Kyler Murray. I mean, he might be out
yeah.
whole season. You don't know how he heals.
So
And then Gino, you don't know, Lighten might strike twice, but I don't believe Gino going. He tailed off at the end of the year, so I don't. And then the Rams, no one knows what Stafford's going to do. They're talking about trailing Ramsey. I don't know about. They got Mike LaFleur there. That's a mistake right there, man. You talking about the guys failing forward. That's Matt LaFleur, Mike LaFleur. Yeah, Matt
that's a
too.
war fun.
Yeah. He won't be technically OC.
The floor thing makes sense to me though. Like
that's his boy. I mean, I understand why he hired him, but I don't think it's a merit thing. Let's be real, man. He's a brother. He would be hired. That dude was 27 in offense.
But you gotta think about it though.
Yeah,
when you put the headset on, his title says offensive coordinator, but you put the headset on when you're on the sideline during the game. Who's really, calling the play?
That's gonna be Sean McVay all day.
He might ask, "Hey, what do you think here?" That's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's a joke, man. I mean, again, that's like the brother they're trying to hire with Dallas Cowboys. Get real. You might have the OC title, but McCarthy's the OC because McCarthy knows he gotta win the chip next year or he's done. So then he fired Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was already in San Diego, already in LA. In San Diego, too, wherever he wants to be.
Yeah.
He got paid. He got the bag.
McCarthy was already looking for that. I told y'all he's looking for that opportunity to get him out of there.
Oh, yeah, he was. He's going to bring the Green Bay offense back.
He was trying to stab him in the back.
With Dak Prescott, you bring the Green Bay offense with Dak Prescott. Good luck. That'd be more interceptions. And then Jared's going to draft a quarterback. So what does that
mean? Dak better step it up next year, boy.
Somebody else draft a quarterback because people realize that in Tom Brady too, you have to win with these quarterbacks on that first contract. If you have again, Kansas City's different. They're amazing, but it's if you look at these other teams have won, usually it's because the quarterback is taking a discount or quarterback's in
the whole thing. And in Dak's place, he got weapons around him. Dak has just missed some key throws, man. And some of it, he's made some bad decisions. And some of it, though, and Darnell might look at this a little bit deeper than this, but there are times where some of these guys, like CD Lamb, sometimes they don't run crisp routes. And sometimes you can see Dak looking over there like, man, you didn't even go where you're supposed to go. And I think, but that's part of his leadership. He got to start putting his foot in their butt. Because there's times where Cass is kind of just not cutting, they kind of rounding, and he's throwing, expecting them to be there. But that's his job to get on them when they're not doing that kind of stuff and get a little bit more disciplined about their craft. But he got stuff around him. Even with the contract, he got players around him. Now, he's got to figure out how to get those cats to win, but he's got players around him. So
he hasn't utilized Dalton Schultz enough either. Dalton Schultz should be more dynamic in the passing game.
Yeah. He's got to have Dalton. He don't throw enough to Dalton.
Yeah. Dalton can ball. Dalton can ball.
He don't throw enough to him in ways that could help him out a lot. And hopefully whoever he brings on, how they work at that, he got to work that tight end in some key roles. I think he spends too much time looking at those cats on the outside. I don't think they do enough with Dalton in that tight end game. He's got to get some help around it, but he got to deliver next year. Like
if he's there.
if he's there, because them defensive cats, I
Yeah,
don't blame them.
they talking about they might trade that, man.
They
Real
might.
talk.
I mean, I'm trying to love the brother, but them defensive brothers looking at him sideways right now.
Because was it New Orleans would be a good fit for him? Actually, that's home. His girl living in Baton Rouge. He dating the LSU swimmer now.
Okay.
Pick who?
Dak. Yeah, that's dating the swimmer.
I'll say trade Dak and then get who?
Man, who knows, man? It could be. I don't know, man. It could.
I think Dak can win. He just got to go to that next space, and I mean, he got to have a level of detail. I mean, he's there.
I don't see it, man.
He's
it's
there.
Been 7 years. If it ain't clear in 7 years, brother, it ain't gonna clear.
Man.
7 years, bro.
Hey.
We ain't talking about Dak with Tony Romo. We talking about 7 years.
But one thing I gotta say about that is we talked about the quarterback being on the rookie deal. They have a guy that's on that got paid, and he's not producing as well. That is his name is Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, he's gonna get cut. There's no more guaranteed money.
He's taking up some cap space. I mean,
yeah, he's gonna get cut. He's gonna get cut.
Yeah, they got to move. They got a young running back. They need to be more dynamic in the running game.
I would never pay these running backs because there's an interesting thing. They're talking about Jonathan Taylor going to the Rams. That's an interesting move. Because the Rams, because the Colts don't want to pay him no bag. I wouldn't be paying the running backs no bag. Man.
Like people like
Gurley.
So he get injured. But they're like receivers too.
Well, he came with arthritic knees. He came with arthritic knees in the league. Come on now, bro.
But some of these running backs are
arthritis at age 20. Come on now, bro.
Who?
Gurley. Yeah, he arthritis, man. We came out the crib.
Yeah,
but he tore his ACL in college, right after he go.
Yeah.
Right after, since he was getting NIL before NIL, so he got he got suspended for a game.
I'm crying for Ty Gurley.
I mean, first game he came back, he tore his ACL.
yeah. First game he came back, tore his ACL. It was built like paper, man. But he got paid. He got his second contract. I give him credit. He duped Jeff Fisher, one of the dumbest coaches. That's one dude. You talk about white privilege. Oh my goodness, Jeff Fisher.
Oh yeah.
How many seasons do you get? Come on now. Oh, I like this segment. Yeah, brother. This is what I'm talking about.
So we always talk about, we're gonna drop it up. We always talk about paper champs, real champs. And I'm gonna throw this out. We gotta, and I'm gonna allow you to think about anything in the sports. We won't just stick with football. We can this concept of who's real and who's not. So I'm gonna leave it a little open as we start to bring it all home around. I like this idea of paper champ or real champ. Who's the real G's, who's pretending to be it, and so you might have some in your head. So you can pull into the college basketball scene if you want to. You could pull into boxing if you want to. You can pull into NFL here if you want to. We can pull NBA, but just thinking about who are the folks who are forming, and you saying, well, these are some real dogs, and these cats might be some paper champ. I got one that I might think I'm beginning to think they might be paper. Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
They got a lot of bark.
Nobody.
They like that dog at the fence. You like, but then you go like that, they start running back to the other side. That dog like that, and these cats are feeling themselves, and I'm not quite sure. There was a time where I was like, okay, they're gonna be some Rough Riders. I'm not. They wearing on me, man. They bark is a little bit too much, and maybe that might prove me wrong here in the playoffs. But I think people are getting in on them and who they are, and I'm right now they in my paper champ column because I'm hearing more bark. I just don't feel like I believe you. We don't believe you, and I want to sense that we are. Ja, I believe you. I don't know about everybody else. I don't know how that all. I love the Memphis game because Slowpoke went in on him, boy. Slowpoke, he's former Grizzly. Slowpoke got off in that game. I don't know if y'all saw that. he went off on his former teammates, and did his thing. In that when the Timberwolves played Memphis, he had one break where he just went behind his head and then it came down in the dunk. I mean, he exposed a little bit in that game. So I'm not quite sure if I believe they real. I think I'm putting them in the paper champ column of it. I don't know if they did them real champs. All right, I'm gonna go to you, Darnell. You got anybody that you've been thinking about as real champ, paper champ?
Shoot, I didn't really think about this one that much, but I have a real champ for sure. And real champ's coming back real soon. His name's John Jones. His name's John Jones, and he's coming up to the heavyweight division. And this guy is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. And he might be a little past his prime now because I don't know. He he took. I don't know if he fought last year. I think he might have took a year off just to acclimate himself to the heavyweight division. But his brothers, Arthur Jones, Chandler Jones, are NFL linemen. So he has it in his dreams to put that weight on his frame. So I think I can't wait to see what he's going to be like at heavyweight. And I think we're going to be in for a great fight. So that's my real champ, John
I thought
Jones.
you were gonna say Better Biev. I thought you were gonna say Better Biev is that real G. I thought you were gonna say Better Biev, but okay,
Hey, he's up there, but better BF got to prove it against Bivol, against Dimitri
Mm.
Bivol. And if they don't fight, then I can't say either one. Well, I can't. Well, let me back up. Bivol is the real champ because he beat Canelo.
Yes,
So see, Bivol's the real champ. He beat Canelo. But better BF, he got to see Bivol. That's what I got to say about
man,
that.
that
But my
was a good
paper,
fight. That was a good
yeah,
fight this past weekend. That
yeah,
was that was a good fight, boy. They was throwing him.
short and sweet. No, it's
Short.
kidding.
They was throwing
and
them
my
hands
yeah,
back
in
back
my
in
paper in my paper chat, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I always say,
I
I
told you.
always say, the
Oh,
games won and lost at that line of scrimmage, and man, I think they need to get a consistent running game to bounce it out. I was on the Bills bandwagon all year long.
yeah.
I hate when I go against my philosophy because I always come back and I'm like, man, I should just stuck with what makes me me. But I was on the Josh Allen bandwagon. I still think he's a great quarterback, but right now I gotta say the Buffalo Bills are paper champs.
Paper champ. Feeling you, man. All right, Hammer. Who you got? That who? Paper champ, real champs.
Well, I'm gonna start the controversy again. Paper champs. Any team that LeBron James will win a title on. You look at the fact with Miami, he had two of the top. I mean, you had three of the top 10 on the same team, and you had. So I don't think again they're real champs as far as it goes.
How you saying that? Like
It
the
was. I
Showtime
mean, they
Lakers,
basically
the
said the
Boston
cap
Celtics,
they took.
they all had
They
great
took
players. Come on, man.
no,
You just
man. And
be
then
hating,
you look
boy.
at
It's that
the
hater
two
hate.
All Star teams. The Cleveland championship was because Draymond got kicked out in that game, and then
Oh,
in the fourth. Let me
man.
finish. The fourth championship was in the bubble. So again, I don't see him as a champion, and never.
Oh,
And then
my
also,
goodness.
I listened to the thing that was really profound, man. All this, what do they call load management. MJ would play 82 games every year. Remember
LeBron
that
low
every year,
manager.
82 games every year, 82
LeBron
games.
is not low. He won a few, not low management.
He low management.
He
Look at
not
the
low
60
management,
games,
man.
60 games. Yes, he is. 60 games. He didn't play the other night because he was back to back, man. Don't give me that mess.
LeBron is playing at a high level at
He
what
played a high
age?
level because he
He
played
just
60 games a
what
year.
he
Let him play
averaged it
80
near
games a year. See
30.
what
That wasn't
let him play
Jordan.
80
He
games a year. See
averaged
what
it
happens.
30 at like 38, right?
Yeah,
What are we
he
talking about?
played 60
He's
games
an
this year.
all-star. He's a
He
top
played 60
player.
games this
Come
year, man.
on, Hammer.
He played 60 games
You
this
got
year.
he
No,
about
Man,
to
man.
get his AARP card. He's still doing folks. Come
all,
on,
all,
man.
all I gotta say about this is we do this Olympic. We do this back in my day. We used to walk to school barefoot. You say Michael Jordan, he played every game. Well, Will Chamberlain played every minute of every game. So
Yeah.
what did your MJ got to say about that?
Yes.
Will Chamberlain had a season where he averaged 48.5 minutes per game. There's only 48 minutes in the game.
Yes.
That's because he played every minute of overtime too.
Yes.
And little Will was going in. Will was the tallest. You had cats that were all 7 foot. You had cats 6'9", like Wes Unfeld. So yeah, he dominated. But his Achilles heel is that free throw line, bro. That free throw line.
He still was putting them numbers up.
That was his kryptonite. That free throw line was kryptonite.
He still was dominating. So like Shaq was
dominating. I agree, but again, you look at the 4 championships with LeBron.
All right,
they were all contrived.
I'm gonna let you
dream
go to LeBron
teams.
thing. What's your other
one suspension thing?
What's your other
and
one?
And then the bubble. So if you have MJ, MJ show won 9 straight, but
come on, man. Well, yeah. Once he got out, like Zeke said, once he got on Pistons, he started rolling. I understand that. So let's keep it moving.
Once they started they weren't calling play. They used to whoop us like it was. I mean, I thought it was like boxing with basketball uniforms. That's how y'all play. Y'all whooping people.
We was whooping and we scored a lot of points. Look at what we averaged for points. Don't get it twisted. Dude, don't try to frame us like we wasn't scoring. Come on, man. I don't want to hear that. Y'all dominance was in the 90s. It wasn't in the 80s. Give it away. Leave it alone.
Yeah, because
this is the only team to dominate the Bulls, Lakers, and Celtics. Let's call it like it is. Come on, man. Come on, man. All the teams say dynasties. Pistons beat all of them. So let's go.
Y'all couldn't take it.
Let's move it on. Let's move it on. And then what your boy Krause said, if you can't beat him, join him. What did Krause say? You can't beat him, join him. What did Krause say? You can't beat them, join them. Y'all start pulling all them Pistons over.
I give you credit. Y'all gonna give love for Detroit, but the bottom line is that when we beat them that last time, they
about time. Sometime y'all couldn't take it. Nothing in the 80s. Y'all would do nothing in the high level. What's happening? Jordan was just taking that beat down like everybody else.
All
right. So what's your other one? We don't beat that one. So what's your other one? You done
real champs, Bulls, fake champ, paper champs.
I'm saying like today. We're talking today, man. You going back in the clock, hugging your life.
Oh, I didn't definitely the real champs. The real champs. I give credit to KC because
I like
you look what KC did. My man Mahomes played with a high ankle sprain. Most cats would have sat down. My man balled out. When you saw the pain when he threw that deep ball, the pain on it, man. And Darnell knows about it. When you have a high ankle sprain and you can't play it, that brother can ball. And then you got Travis Kelce. You get back spasms before you got back spasms to hamper you, and you come out and you ball out like he did. I mean, and you had people like Chris Jones ball. It made him about 2. Like they didn't let themselves be demoralized by people barking. They bit. That's why they won the game. And then you had Dummy Osai who made a dumb play, but you know
he made a mistake.
They deserved it because they talk all that junk.
That kid was balling.
When they needed to act composed,
he was balling.
That brother hit him out of bounds. So
he was trying to hustle. He lost where he was.
He messed up, man.
He lost where he was. That kid was balling. He was really in the game. That kid was balling. I ain't gonna let
he was balling for 59 minutes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things. Exactly, I like your pick about Kansas City. Well, I'm gonna say this is my other example because I've been on this. This is my new thing. People be talking about this Midwest nice. Travis Kelce's from Cleveland. You saw he got down after the game.
I
want y'all to understand when y'all be talking that Midwest nice stuff. Y'all must be talking about some places that Aaron and I don't hang out, Darnell and I don't hang out.
I'm from the South Side of Chicago. Ain't nothing nice about Chicago.
Yeah, all this Midwest nice.
Man, we had
Kelce,
like,
he could talk.
We had rats bigger than cats when I grew up. We had they call them super rats. Those cats were, I mean, dude, they had a expose called super rats. Google it, man. Those rats are so big, man. The cats would be like, meow, 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 meow. The cat would just be, man, that cat would be running from, man, that super rat would knock him around. That's when you knew you were in the hood, man, the super rats, man. Super rats would eat up like a bunch of cheese, eat a whole block of cheese, block of welfare cheese, man. That's you knew, man. I'm from the Shy, man. Midwest nice is is what? Columbus, Ohio. Shoot, man, we ain't nice in Chicago, man. Shoot, we had super rats, pit bulls, man. Please.
All right, y'all. This has been a great show. We just let the flow. I'm always loving to be with y'all fellas.
In paper, like I said, paper here would be Bills. I agree with Darnell. Bills would be paper chance right now. It's sad. I feel bad for brother Leslie Frazier because they wanted to get my guy, man. He from my mom's hometown. Don't you?
Okay.
I met his uncle at my aunt's funeral. Yeah. So, yeah. But I'm glad he survived. I thought he was gonna get fired, but he didn't. Thank goodness. So.
Well, it's all good. Well, it's been a good show, fellas. We obviously at our next show we'll be talking about the Super Bowl amongst a whole bunch of other things, but we'll adjust and talk about what's happening with that. With Andy Reid facing his old team in Philadelphia. Philadelphia bring it together, and we'll have a little bit of time to get in and dissect what we think is going to happen with that game. It's going to be
Andy Reid facing the guy he fired too.
Yeah. So we'll get it. It's going to be a lot of storylines here, so we'll get into that. We got a whole bunch of other things happening, and college basketball is revving up a little bit here, and got a lot of stuff happening in the off season with with signings and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll pull some stuff together. But check out my guys on all the social media platforms. I don't know if y'all want to tell them where they can catch you. Where can they catch you, Hampton?
On Twitter, Carl B. Hampton at Carl B. Hampton. Instagram, Carl Bernard Hampton. Facebook, Carl Hampton. So yeah. So.
All right. And then Darnell, what can they
catch?
I
don't do Snapchat. That's for Darnell's generation. I don't do Snapchat.
I'm with Darnell. I'm trying to figure out what the young.
They caught me dancing on Snapchat at one time. My guy caught me dancing at a party. I said I'd never do that mess again. They caught me dancing, man.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm over there. I'm always trying to check out the youngins and trying to figure out what's going on in their new world. TikTok. I'm just checking it out. I'm trying to understand. When you're in that college environment, trying to understand what the young folks are doing. All right, Darnell, where can they catch you, man?
Man, I'm not like Jadakiss said. I don't do Instagram. I don't do TikTok. No, you can find me on Twitter at BerkeleyBound14. Instagram Darnell Kirkland 79, and that's pretty much it for me.
You catch me at RSG D Wills on all platforms, and it's all good. So until next time, y'all, we'll see y'all on the other side. This is Darnell, Carl, and Devon, RSG One Mike. Peace.